Hi friends, welcome back to the Project Return online classroom. I'm Miss Celia and today we are just going to be painting some cute little flowers. I'm going to show you 3 different types of flowers that I like to paint. I use these flowers to spice up my journal entries or when I just feel like practicing my technique. These flowers are a great way to do that as well. So I'm just going to start by using my sketchbook. You can use a canvas or any type of paper as well. Cardboard works too for this. I'm using a set of small flat top brushes. It's important that they're flat top. Some paint, a paper towel, and a cup of water. I'm going to begin using a yellow and orange base. And on one side of my brush, I'm going to be putting orange. And on the other side of the same brush, I'm going to be putting yellow and adding petals in one fluid motion. Once I get the outer rim done, I'll go ahead and layer them on the inside, circling around the center of the flower. So I get these petals with their really pretty ombre type look, and they're circular like a regular flower would be. So this is a great way to practice brush control. I'm using for my outer petals, I'm kind of making a more wavy line, and then for the inside, I'm making a U shape by keeping one side of the brush, in this case the yellow side, pressed down on the page, and rotating the orange part around it to create that U shape, and it gives a really cute ombre look, I think. This is how it looks when it's completed. And I'm just going to be adding some little lines in the middle coming out of the center of the flower. And I'm going to be using the back of my brush because I like the way that it flattens on the page better. So now that I have my technique down, I'm just going to go ahead and practice with another flower in another color. I'm using a lighter blue on the outside and then an even lighter seafoam green type color on the inside. I'm just starting by making some larger wavy lines to be the base of the flower and act as the larger bottom petals. And as I continue in towards the center of the flower, my petals get smaller, my lines get wavier to emulate what the flowers look like in the center. And now that I'm at the center of the flower, I'm just adding some more of those U-shaped petals. And feel free to fill in any space in your flower you see with the correct color paint that would go there. For example, if you have spaces towards the center of the petal or more towards the middle, you're going to want to fill it in with the lighter color, as opposed to if you have spaces outside or within the outer rim of the petal, you're going to want to fill it in with the darker color. I'm also adding those center lines again. You can also use the same technique when you're making leaves to go behind your flowers. So I'm starting with the lighter green on the inside and a darker green on the outside. And you're just going to want to emulate the shape of a leaf, just as I have done, making sure that the darker green is on the outside, like I'm showing you right now. The tip of my paintbrush goes to the darker one, and the bottom part of the brush goes to the lighter one. This is, again, a great example of brush control and really gives your leaves some dimension as opposed to just leaving them all one color. And just to give you guys another example, I'm going to go ahead and do it again, this time a bigger flower with a larger brush. This technique works with various sizes of brushes. You can really make these flowers in any shape that you want. I encourage you guys to give this a shot when you're painting at home with nothing to do. I'd love to see how you guys make these flowers. So now we're going to try and do a different kind of flower. This time I'm going to be showing you guys how I make some pretty purple lilacs. I always start by making the stems and the side leaf. This is the base of your flower, so the base should always come first. And instead of using a brush, I challenge you guys to do what I did and use some Q-tips, some things that you have lying around the house. So I am going to take my band of Q-tips that you see right here and dip those in a dark purple. You want to start with the dark because you can always make it lighter. And I'm just going to start and emulate the shape of a lilac flower, kind of a cone shape. You can get thinner up at the top and much wider down at the base. Again, starting with the dark purple because it is always easier to add color and add light rather than have too much dark at the front and then you have to just layer over again. I'm then going in with my mid-tone purple with still some dark on there, and you want to go ahead and add that on top. Not so much that you completely cover the dark, but enough that you can definitely tell that there are different spots. As you can see in those two on the right, you can definitely tell that there's light and dark spots, whereas on the one on the left, I added a little bit too much of the mid-tone, and I had to go back with some darker purple and cover that up. And then finally, I'm just going in with a lighter toned purple, add some finishing touches. I tried keeping the lighter toned purple on the left side of my flowers because that'll emulate where a light source would be. So if it's darker on one side and lighter on the other, that makes complete sense. If you'd rather just have a light source head on and do the whole thing mixed colors, that works perfect too. I'm just adding a little bit of decoration, a little bit of ribbon around my lilacs, but yeah, that is my technique for doing some pretty little lilacs. Final flower that I'm going to show you guys how I paint is going to be a sunflower. It doesn't look like it yet, but we'll get there. Just bear with me. I'm going to start by using the darkest petal shade that I want to use right now, which is a lighter orange color. Like I said, you always want to start with the darkest color because it's always easier to add light and layer on top of it. As you can see, I'm going in with a little bit lighter of an orange, which gives it much more dimension. Without this difference in tone and difference in light in your paint colors, your painting might end up looking a little flat. That's why having multiple oranges with different tones brings so much more life to your painting. As I continue, I'm just adding lighter colors. I started with my dark orange, now I went to a more muted orange. I'll continue with a yellowy orange, and then finally a yellow color. Remember that there is no wrong way of making flowers. Flower petals are always asymmetrical. No two flowers ever look exactly the same. As you can see, none of my flower petals are equal size or shape, and that's intentional. You know, no flower petals look the same. Every flower is unique, and your flowers that you paint should emulate that as well. To do the center of my sunflower, I'm just going in with a lighter brown. And then I will go ahead and add some black to give it some texture and then layer some more brown on top of that to not make the black too dominant or strong. Thank you guys so much for joining me on today's Project Return online classroom video. We're so happy to have you guys tuning in with us and watching our little tutorials. If you get a chance to paint something that me or Miss Madison do, go ahead and bring it in or send us a picture. We'd love to see how your flowers turn out. And other than that, I hope you guys have a great weekend and we will see you soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.